Huh. This is like take 5 now or something. Good evening. I'm Rogan. Nice to see you. A couple of you have suggested in sort of different ways via questions, a couple of different questions, that I watch some new movies. So I started doing that. I didn't hit a really good one yet. Here's the reason why I have not been watching. By the way, isn't this cool looking? This is just the laptop that I watch movies on is just on a nothing screen, and there's a lamp in the back. I feel like I should be voting in my demands. What's the word I'm looking for? Ransom. My ransom demands. Clearly, I'm not very good at this job. The ransom demands job. So I don't watch recent or new movies much because it's not because I think they're all bad. Like I'm some kind of snob about new movies in some pure sense. It's because it's sort of a dead cultural backwater now. The cinema is not the center of the storytelling culture anymore. It's not the North Star like it was when I was a kid and I was first learning and first watching movies. So I'm trying to think of a good example of this. I can think of other examples of dead forms. Like the novel is kind of dead too. Let's say grand opera. I mean, I don't know how alive grand opera ever was. It might have always been a snobbish, rich, educated thing, the grand opera. But at some point, it definitely became that new operas are not. To this day, everybody knows some of the great melodies from famous arias from particularly Italian opera. They're in Bugs Bunny cartoons. But new operas, I know people who write operas. That it's a weird niche culture and hard to really just enjoy from cold zero as being vital and central culturally. So that's really what bugs me about movies, is that movies now are post movies. They're not, the new movies I see that are really good are sort of about movies or referential to movies less than they are fully satisfying, well-rounded movie watching experiences. And that just always bugs me. Somebody asked me what the last new movie I saw that I really enjoyed was, and I think actually the new French, The Three Musketeers. I really liked that. And on this Oscar list from last year, the only thing I've already seen I really liked a lot was the Mission Impossible movie. I can't remember the Mission Impossible movies apart, but the new one, the one with the big bike stunt and the train thing and the car chase. And the Eye of Sauron wandering from computer to computer. I really liked it just as much as everybody else. It's not particularly exciting to review because I just agree with everyone about that movie. It's pretty fun, pretty cool. But it's part of a larger narrative. That's true of the Three Musketeers movie too. It's not a self-contained 2-hour movie. It doesn't throw a punch like that. It's formally a different kind of storytelling, and so not as satisfying to me. So that's on my Oscar list. I really liked that, and I've already seen it. The first time I started watching these Oscar movies, I was going to say several months. It's probably like 3 weeks or something. Whenever the Oscars was, it wasn't long ago. Anyway, the Oscars, right? I made a list of all the features that had been nominated for an Oscar, any Oscar, and put them in the order of release. Started fooling around with going through them. But then the first thing I ran across, I circled Mission Impossible. I was like, aces, I got one good movie. And then oh, wow. I just got notified somebody I hadn't talked to in like 30 years accepted my friend request at Facebook. That's kind of cool. I tried to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which it's weird. You'd have to fact check me on this. I think I met James Gunn socially while he was making a movie called The Specials, which didn't come out at the time. And if I'm remembering right, Jeremy Kasdan, who directed the movie I Wrote the Attic Expeditions, edited The Specials. A bunch of people worked on that movie right before they worked on Attic Expeditions, and I heard great things about it a lot. And I think that's when I met him. I might have met him sooner, back east somewhere. I mean, I wasn't paying that much attention at the time. Uh, so yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, man, like if any movie ever seemed like the guy who wrote it and directed it was phoning it in and skating dangerously close to self-parody as a way of avoiding extra effort, that's the movie. It's kind of amazing, really, because he's I mean, I didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I kind of like the first one. I don't think it's James's best work. He did his best to knock it out of the park to solidify his position in his career. I thought his Suicide Squad movie was fucking spectacular. I like all three of those Suicide Squad movies, actually, but his in particular was just, there's something oddly triumphant about. I mean, it's just perfect for James Gunn and his aesthetic and his work. The first time I reviewed him was when Slither came out, the monster movie. That's a really fun movie too. And it got a wide theatrical and only played for a week. Barely anyone saw it. I saw it. I really liked it. I knew he was going places then, or at least I said so in my review. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is not, hopefully, where he's going in the sense of like ending up somewhere. I hope he makes something better next time out. I don't know what he's working on right now. So yeah, that was actually so disheartening. The Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I mean, it's not just that it was bad and phoned in, and like James is just not on his game, kind of on purpose in a studied way. It doesn't hold together right. It's not even like the jokes just miss being funny. The plot points just miss being engaging. The whole Marvel comics, movies, machines approach to sort of slightly workshopping straightforward, clear dialogue expressing the goals and motivations of the characters and the plot as it goes on, being sort of like workshopped sideways into being funny self-referential jokes the whole time. It's Guardians of the Galaxy 3 just sort of explodes the whole approach. Like, it makes it clear that, well, I mean, it doesn't work. It felt like the entire movie was a bad outtake from the last couple Avengers movies. And just now I tried to watch the first thing on the list chronologically. I don't know where Guardians was towards the top. Might have been first or second. But just now, what I found first on my list was this movie called Perfect Days, which I, honest to God, feel like I'm being trolled. I feel like it's not a real movie. Like, really not a real movie. I mean, it has the problem I was saying of being a movie made after the death of the cinema, and so therefore not a real movie. But it seems like it's also doing this. Like, it's not. I mean, Wim Wenders. I think he's originally German. He's made pretentious art films with pretty big budgets and famous casts in them, off and on for, I think his earliest movies, his low budget entry level festival movies, are like early 70s, like 72, 73. The guy must not be young. He's made movies in English and I think German. Maybe other languages. I'm really not sure, but this movie's in Japanese, and it's about it's like a slice of life naturalist, I assume drama. The first part, I only watched 20 minutes, so it's very French New Wave. Nothing fucking happens. It's Academy ratio, real flat looking. Nothing happens. It's about a guy who cleans public restrooms in Tokyo. For 17 minutes, I just watched a guy doing his job for the better part of a work day. High point included helping a lost little kid who's crying find his mom in the park. That's it. I watched literally actually exactly 17 and a half minutes of it, and that's he has an interest in plants. I mean, like I said, and it looks like shit. Like, it's really weirdly flat looking. It's Academy ratio that is like TV screen shaped. Like, why would you do that? I literally feel like I was just trolled. Like, I mean, if that movie goes somewhere, I'm never going to find out. I don't even want to look it up to find out what the plot description says happens later in the movie. Like, I mean, What's funny is that this kind of foreign language movies in Japanese, set in Tokyo, Japanese cast, Japanese language. And mind you, I don't speak Japanese, but I can tell the line readings are weak. Like the Wim Wenders also does not speak Japanese, which is sad. You hear that through also not speaking the language yourself, that the line readings are just sort of forced and strident and like first, second take bullshit jobs. Man. Uh, so that's what I got. I did start watching new movies or recent movies. There's some stuff on this list that should be fun. That sure wasn't. Guardians 3 sure isn't. I mean, the thing about the Oscar movies, for one thing, don't pay attention to what wins Oscars, but do pay some attention to what gets nominated, because the set of movies that gets nominated indicates the state of the art as far as it's perceived by the wise old men in the back room in Hollywood. And of the 30 or so movies that are all the nominated features every year, there's at least one great movie you haven't seen. There's usually 3 or 4 that are pretty good. The documentary nominations are interesting. That nominating process is sort of separate from the rest of the Oscars, and people who make documentaries make that set of decisions, and so it has its own politics, but it's not mainstream Hollywood politics, and they sometimes pick really interesting movies that you won't hear about anywhere else ever. Sometimes the documentary features don't even get a real theatrical release. The foreign language movies, again, a separate nominating process, has to do with which movies foreign countries pick to submit officially to the Academy Awards. The foreign language nominees, if you watch all the Oscar nominated movies, the really exciting ones that are really surprising are foreign movies usually. I mean, not foreign movies, but they're nominated for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film. They don't even shoot this shit on film anymore. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'll watch some more new movies. There's something good. I mean, Godzilla Minus One actually won an Oscar, I think, whatever it was up for. So that's on my list. I know. Anything else good on this list? Anything else I'm looking forward to already? The Boy and the Heron. I'm looking forward to that. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I really liked the first one of those. Who didn't? Honestly. I haven't seen Barbie. Honestly, like, this is just sad. I haven't even heard of most of these movies. I really have not even heard of most of these movies. Oh, Napoleon. I want to see Napoleon. Wow. There's a remake of The Color Purple? Really? Not only is it weird that that seems to have happened and I didn't know it, I wrote it down on a list in my own handwriting and immediately forgot, because that's how much, like, I mean, really? There's room to make a better movie of that book, I guess. It'd be fucking depressing. So this has been my very exciting little chat about why movies don't matter anymore and the Oscar movies always suck.